All right. Welcome, everybody, to another Lunch and Learn Wednesday webinar with Venture Portland. Today, we're talking about Reels and using Instagram to promote your business district. My name is Samantha Montanaro, and I've been doing marketing and events for 20 plus years. And I have over 5 years experience in short form video content creation. Reels itself was introduced in 2020, but TikTok was happening before that. And, it's been amazing to watch the evolution, but I have had quite a bit of experience in this department. And if you don't know already, I am the creator of the Cool Corners of Portland video series on Instagram. I am so excited to be here today with you because digital media tells your story. And what's been so fun for me as I've owned my own business for 10 plus years, started working with Venture Portland in 2023, but I've been on the board since 2017 and on and off involved. It's been really fun to utilize these new tools and the developments in Instagram Reels to find ways to promote your district, your business districts, but also individual businesses. Short form video is an amazing way to engage with potential customers and your extended audience. So why short form video over just making a post? First of all, it's engaging. I mean, I think that that's pretty clear. It's fun to watch videos and it kind of stirs up different parts of our brain and helps us feel connected. Videos communicate messages faster and make learning easier. Videos can look really good, better than static posts. I think it's thinking about even if you're taking a photo of just someone sitting somewhere, but you do a short form video and post a video instead of like zooming in on them, it creates a different environment and a different vibe, and it just looks good. Music adds to the experience and helps people connect. Videos create more of an emotional reaction, which for any of us involved in sales, and if you own small businesses or if you're involved in district promotions, you know that getting an emotional reaction out of people is the best way to help them feel connected to your business. Of course, there's the always evolving algorithm, and Instagram is incentivizing using Reels right now, and I'm sure they will continue to do that. Also, the clips can be used in a lot of different ways. The video content is multi-purpose and can be repurposed. Also, short form video is actually really easy to produce. I hope that you feel that way after the webinar today. I know it can feel daunting at first, but I hope that this webinar today helps inspire you and gives you some tips and tricks. So let's go over just some basic statistics. First of all, the engagement on short form videos is really incredible. As you can see here, short form videos receive 2.5 times more engagement than long form videos. Videos under 90 seconds retain 50% of viewers. By the way, I got these stats from a number of different platforms, including HubSpot, and also from Instagram, and also from I'm having a blank on it right now, but I have a graphic from it later. So platforms that are tracking these statistics. So it's really interesting, especially that videos under 90 seconds retain 50% of viewers. That number is way higher than other forms of social media. There's a lot of revenue in short form video. Maybe you've noticed on your social media that sometimes you don't even realize something is an ad. So it's pretty incredible to see that short form video ads will surpass $10 billion in just 2024. A poll done by Instagram was something, around 75% of people prefer video over text for learning about products and services. And over 50% of social media marketers use short form videos in marketing. So this is a really great tool for you to use for your business and your district. So let's get into how to make a really great reel. First, I want to look at some examples, show you some examples. So I'm going to, let's see if I can just switch screens. Nope. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to switch screens here. I'm just going to show you some of the cool corners of Portland videos that have been successful. And this is just a great example of reels that have already been published.
Come with us today as we adventure through the Jade District on the cool corners of Portland. Southeast 82nd and Woodward is a home to Fouvon. This beloved mall is home to shops of all kinds for herbs and clothing and so much more. But my favorite place is certainly the Fouvon supermarket. This absolutely massive Asian grocery store has everything you can think of. I was amazed by the selection of mushrooms. Definitely come here to get your grocery shopping done. Up next, we're heading next door to the Rocking Crab. Now, I had never been to a seafood boil restaurant, so I really enjoyed putting on the bib and receiving the giant bag of delicious seafood and vegetables. No plates allowed here. You just dump everything out on the table and dig in. The seasonings were finger licking good. We were laughing and having so much fun the whole time. It was really a cool experience. I'll definitely go back. And so will Casey. Right across the street from the Rockin' Crab is Bun and Pho House. It smelled absolutely incredible when we walked in the door, and we soon found out why. Order the build your own salad roll plate for a really fun experience with a group. It came with the rice paper that you dip in the water, and then all of the fixins to create your own salad roll. I can't wait to bring my kids back here. It was really a fun experience and seriously delicious. It took us a little bit of practice, but we eventually got it. Fun and Pho House was an incredible dining experience on this episode of the Cool Corners of Portland.
All right, so there is one example. And I think I'm just gonna stop there for now because I think you get the gist of what a reel is if you didn't know already. I'm going to go back over to the presentation here. Okay, so I liked that example. Thank you, Jermaine. I love that video because it was one of my shorter videos, and I've gotten a lot better at adjusting what I'm creating for Venture Portland specifically. And so I look forward to sharing some of the tips and tricks. So how do you go about doing this? What I like about using the cool corner as an example is because most of you are working in your business association or in business district leadership. Utilizing reels like this is such a cool way to get people to want to come into your district. And a lot of the effort in this is pre-planning. So, what is the vision? What is the shot list? Where are you going? What do you want the viewers to do? Are you doing more than one of these? Are you collaborating? How are you planning to edit? Thinking about this all ahead of time is how I feel like I've gotten so smooth at creating these videos and having it not take 1 million hours to do it. I will say in the beginning, when I started doing particularly the Cool Corners videos, each video would take a number of hours between going to the locations and filming and then editing and getting all the final touches in before publishing. These days, the filming itself is the fun part, experiencing the business districts in different ways. But the editing process, I've really gotten that down to less than an hour. And it's because of the pre-planning that I'm doing. So we're going to go over some more details of things, but say, for example, Jermaine, you're in Lents and you want to do a video about some of the businesses that are in a row. Looking at your map and planning, first I'm going to go to this place and I want to, they have really great pizza. We're going to start at Humdinger and they have really great pizza. So I want to get some pizza shots. And then we're going to go to Zeugel House and we're going to have a beer and I want to get some beer shots. And then we're going to go somewhere else, right? And highlight something else. I literally write out my intentions with these before I go in, and it helps me avoid getting too much footage and making that editing process really long. So the pre-planning is really super important. The more that I do these videos, the less pre-planning I need to do actually, because I have a recipe. The question is this a series? Is a cool one for you to think about before you start making any videos. Sometimes you might not know it's going to be a series until you do it. And then it's like, oh, that went really well. Let's keep doing that. But if you know it's going to be a series, there is a recipe, and thinking about it in that way and coming up with a recipe is, again, just going to save you time on the end and make it very clear about what footage you're capturing and what you're not. Collaboration is something I want to mention before moving on here too, is because so as far as getting businesses involved in and this kind of stuff, I'm just going to use the cool corner idea of the video for this entire webinar, because again, we're talking to you all who are working in business districts. And I think it has a great recipe for you to use yourself. Collaboration is absolutely amazing, and it can be cool to let people know what you're going to be doing ahead of time. However, I will say that it sometimes can negatively affect the impact about the actual filming. So I love collaborating with businesses and letting them know what I'm doing when I'm there, but I actually kind of love spontaneously showing up and getting a more real and candid experience. You know how this goes. If you know your photos being taken, you act a little bit differently. For business owners, if they know someone's coming to shoot some video, they can do all of this preparation. And I just have to say, for Cool Corners of Portland, it's meant to just be this quick highlight of businesses on a corner. Businesses don't need to prep. They're already doing what they're doing well. They have their businesses open and they're serving food and they have merchandise for sale, or they're offering services. What I find to be helpful is to just tell them who I am when I arrive and that I am going to be doing this. If there's something that we should know about, if there's a really great dish, let me know about that, or let's order it. But other than that, the collaboration piece is for a little bit later in this step. So we'll come back to that. We'll also go over editing stuff too. So you've thought about what you want to do and you're ready to capture some footage. Well, what's amazing about making reels is they're made for the cell phone. So making them on your cell phone is the best way. I am going to go over some tools that are not on your cell phone to help edit. But an important first step is making sure your lens is clean on your cell phone. There's been a number of times I've gotten footage and there's like a fingerprint on there and it doesn't look good. So make sure you've got a clean phone, steady hands. Footage that's jostling around a lot is uncomfortable to watch. So often I will kind of kind of put my elbows close to my sides and steady and kind of relax my shoulders and use my actual body as opposed to my hands for moving my cell phone. Coming up with a variety of a shot list. In that video that you just saw, you saw the like wide pans, and then walking through the door, a close-up of food, close-ups of people, far off of people, products. Um, thinking about the variety of different shots makes a great reel at the end of the day. More footage is not better when you're making short form videos. This can actually be the thing that gets you stuck and makes you say, you know what? I don't think I can do this. It's stressing me out. So this is where, I often go through and, most clips are less than 5 seconds long that I'm taking. So, there's a lot of different ways to do things. We'll go over splicing in a little bit, but you can in editing software, say you have a 15-second long clip, you not only can cut out the beginning or the end and kind of adjust what clip you want to include, but you can also actually cut it in half. So some folks I know like to use the splicing option, and they actually don't have a whole bunch of short videos. They have more of a long video that they cut apart and edit that way. It's more about preference. I prefer to have ideally the clips that I'm going to use in the videos I'm making. Capturing an order if possible. This is something that I've gotten a lot better at as well with the Cool Corners videos, the more that I've done. Thinking about what is the story ahead of time and then actually capturing that footage in order makes the editing process really easy. It's awesome. Also, of course, consider engaging funny or just sweet shots. It can feel a little bit silly. Sometimes I feel like the shots of me eating up close are really silly, but I actually keep getting feedback that people love it. And Travel Portland, who we're collaborating with for these, they love it. They're like it makes people giggle, and it makes you excited to watch the video when you see my eyes bugging out of my head taking a big bite of something. I feel kind of silly when I'm doing it, but it's engaging and it's funny, and in some ways I guess it's sweet depending on what I'm eating. Okay, so you've gone through and captured some footage, and you're going to bring stuff into an editing software. I guess I want to take a moment to be clear that in this webinar today, I'm not going to show you how to do video editing. Instagram Reels has amazing short form videos to show you how to actually do the video editing itself. I really wanted to focus on more of like the process and tips and tricks to, again, not have it take up a whole flippin' day for you to make a short form video about your district or about your business. So we can I'm happy to answer specific questions at the end if you have specific questions about video capture, about editing. But often there's so many tools available as well that it's like, these platforms have a lot of amazing things or training videos on how to use them. But here are some editing tips and tricks. So there's three main platforms that I use to edit any of the videos I publish. Instagram Reels specifically has all of the tools you need to import as many videos as you want to adjust the length of each of the clips, to add music, to add text or other things, to add effects on it. It has all of the tools on site. The only thing that I have to say that I don't like, which is the reason that I'm not using Reels anymore specifically to do my editing, is that Instagram itself can be a little bit glitchy. There's been times that I've been mid video and my platform, the platform will glitch and I will lose the video. And talk about devastation. Talk about frustration. So I've also, so I use CapCut. I really recommend this app. There's an amazing free version. I do pay now for the pro version, which I think is $11 a month. And it is so worth it. I absolutely love CapCut, and I'll go over why in a second. Canva, many of you use Canva for um, making your graphics for your district. Canva actually is an amazing way to make reels as well. I actually watched a training video on how to make reels in Canva. I've done it before for my old company. Actually, we used to use Canva for it. But I watched a video in preparation for this webinar to see what kind of the updates are. And I think for some people, for some videos, this might be really great. A cool example of a way that I would actually make a reel in Canva over on CapCut is if, okay, so you saw that intro video that I made. I'm actually going to stop and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show you guys this in Canva because this is really, really cool. That in the intro video where it says cool corners of Portland. I'm going to show you how I make that in Canva because this is really quick and it took me a little while to get to know how to do this, but I love it so much and it's so fun to play with. And say you're making a promotional reel for an event that you're doing. You can create different pages and then you can actually animate them. Let's see. So this is part of what's already going on here. So you can see, so I added the logos, I added the cool corners of Portland, I added the stadium district. We have, you know, the different names here that are all different items and the image in the background. If you click on any of these pages, you can go to the animate series and then you can actually try on different things. Pan, fade, pop, and you can actually adjust the length of these. You can adjust how long it takes to get out there. You can actually just select. You can see here, you can just select. So what I have on the cool corners of Portland intros, I actually have different effects on different text pieces. I do the pop for that one, but you can see when I let's see here. Okay, before I do it again, because I know it goes so fast, you'll see the cool corners of Portland text pops, but the street signs come up from the bottom. See that? And then the stadium comes in from the left. So that has been, I've been playing with it for quite some time. And at this point, I have a template that I use. But I wanted to show you this because again, what you can do is actually like, so have one page like this where say, let's say, Multnomah Street Fair, Multnomah Days. Is that what it is? It's coming up really soon. A festival going on. Say you want to make a promotional reel for that. You could do, you know, this kind of stuff and play around with that text, have it come in. Then you could go to a next slide that has your sponsors and your sponsor things can come in. Oh, this is really fun to play with from a graphics perspective. I'm going to stop sharing and go back over to the presentation. But so as you can see for the cool corners of Portland, I use a combination of this and the footage I'm getting on my phone. So how do I do that? Well, I go to Canva, I make the graphic, I download it as an MP4 as a video, and then I typically actually just email it to myself and download it to my phone. My phone is already stacked with all of the footage from my experience. And then I add in that intro video and the outro video, and I add all the clips in the middle and start playing around with the story. it's really, really fun. And especially again, if you've done a pretty solid job of capturing footage that you know you want to use. So something I might even do after I do a visit through capturing footage is I'll actually go through and kind of watch all the footage, and any of it's that's really just not good or I know I'm not going to use, I just delete it. Like again, it's like, oh my gosh, when you're working with 30 video clips and you're trying to get a 30-second video or a 60-second video, like you don't need to be bringing in all of these clips that you don't think you're going to use. So doing that pre-work and thinking about the story you want to tell really helps make it swift. Add an intro and an ending. Sometimes the in the cool corners of video, cool corner videos, I do a really quick 1 second blip of my favorite clips. And then I do the intersection and that intro video, and then it goes into the video. And then at the end, the story rounds out and I give the ending and it goes back to the outro. Obviously, depending on what type of video you're doing, you may not need an intro and an ending. If you're, covering, a good example actually of a recent video that I made was a recap of the Foster Summer Soiree. That didn't need an intro and an ending. That was, the text was, that was an amazing event, check it out. And then it's just a really fun recap of the event itself. So not all videos need the intro and ending. Talking about clip length a little bit. So we're going to get into some don'ts later on, but one of the biggest thing is don't have too long of clip of length on the clips. The shots. If the shots are too long, it gets boring, frankly. Or people maybe think that that's it. I think part of the really attractive thing about Reels is that, it only takes 1-2 seconds for people to see a video clip and understand what's going on. Our brain processing speed has gotten faster since we've all been on cell phones and operating at different speeds. So what's surprising to me actually, when I first started making Reels, I would make them, the clips would often be 5 seconds long. If I'm watching a video now that has 5 second long clips, I'm bored and I'm probably moving on from it pretty soon. Doing like honestly 1 to 3 second clips, depending on what you're doing, is a really great amount of time. You can, like you saw in the Cool Corners video, we're eating the crab boil. I have a whole bunch of different clips. I'm talking about the crab boil with a voiceover after. So it's like each one of those clips doesn't need to be super long, you know? Um, it's uh it's just really helpful to have it like, I don't know, just give people a quick download of what you're going for. It communicates the vibe. I talked a little bit about splicing clips already. Um, that's just something that I encourage you to do if like, oh, say you have a 5 second long video clip that you made that you captured, and you want to have the first part of it and then you want to actually just kind of cut to that end part, you can splice it in the middle and adjust those things. Transitions, I don't really use transitions in between the video clips, but there is a thing called transitions where it can spin out or scan down or kind of like the transitions that I just showed you on the text for Canva. Some people like to use those. That's more of a matter of style preference. And then video length. So Yaguara, that was the other site that I was getting some info from. So this is really recent information. Ideal length for short form videos. This is really interesting. Really 30 to 60 seconds is the highest rated video length. So that's also interesting to think about. for us in business world, I'm sure you know this already too. Often when I'm writing emails, I'm like writing an email and then I'm like, okay, how can I say this in less words? The same thing applies to short form videos. It's like, okay, you could make a 2 minute long, I could easily make a 2 minute long video about each district. I could make a 20-minute video long about, each business district in Portland. How do we make it short, sweet, and to the point, engaging, interesting, and something that people remember? So once you've gotten your video clip together, there's all of the finishing touches. And I realized I forgot the voiceover bullet point here. So make sure to note that. Adding music is an amazing way to make your video more interesting. In CapCut and also on Instagram, you can add music and also add a voiceover and adjust those volumes. Text can be really helpful, depending on what you're doing too. Sometimes, if there's a call to action, say I'm producing a street fair and it's just getting started and I make a quick reel on site of like, hey, come on down, this is happening now. You might want to add that text over the video. I'm sure you've seen things like that. It can be a really great way to communicate really quickly what you're asking your audience to do. Effects and filters can be added via Instagram. That can be a fun way to do some trending things. There's like sparkly ones and psychedelic ones and, funny face ones, all that kind of stuff. Finishing touches, of course, include your body copy, what you're saying in the post, and what you're asking people to do. This is also where it includes hashtags. So hashtags are different than actually tagging other people and collaborators. I wanted to talk a little bit about short form video collaborations. If you haven't used this feature on Instagram in your business district, I highly recommend it. It's called Collaborators. If you go to tag a business, so Cool Corners of Portland, that video that I made, I go to tag Fubon. If I tag Fubon, it will show up as in their tagged photos on their profile, not in their feed. Collaborators, it will say on there, add a collaborator. And if you add a collaborator, they actually have to review it and they have to accept it. They will get a message about it and they have to review it. But if they accept, it will actually auto post to their feed. So with the Cool Corners of Portland videos, for example, Travel Portland actually publishes the videos and they add Venture Portland and the other businesses and the business district as collaborators. All of us collaborators can accept, and then it is added onto our actual feed and shown to our audience as if we posted ourselves. I can't tell you how much I recommend this enough. Like it is for y'all in business districts, especially district leaders, business association leaders. This is like saving everybody so much time and energy. It's a win-win for everybody, and it's engaging everybody's audience in a way that that makes the impressions way, way higher. So I really recommend using the collaborators feature on Instagram. Also, before you go to publish, you can select a location as to where you're at. All of these types of information, tags, the body copy, hashtags, collaborators, location, and potentially sharing to other platforms too. All of these things are going to boost your video and help it be seen more. Okay, so let's talk about publishing and engaging with short form videos. When to publish is often a common discussion in marketers, marketing land. On your Instagram, if you go to your insights, and I thought about today if there was like a way for me to just hold up my cell phone on some of this stuff. Um, but I'm happy to answer any questions if need be. Um, I didn't find an easy way to make that happen. I guess I could have screen recorded. I don't know. But if you're looking at your profile and you go to the top right where there's 3 lines, you go to where your settings are. If you have a professional account, there's a thing called Insights. You can actually look at all kinds of information about when people are engaging with your content the most. For business districts and for small business and for Portland, I recommend anywhere between like mid-morning to early afternoon. If you think about all of us existing in this small business world, in this big business world, whatever, we are getting on site at work in the morning and there's emails and there's fires to put out and there's stuff to deal with. Then when you kind of get settled, this is often when people are like, okay, I'm going to check in on my social media for the day. I'm going to see what's going on. Or lunchtime is when they do it. So if you're publishing around 10 or 11 a.m., come lunchtime, a lot of people are going to be seeing and engaging with it. Kind of same goes for the afternoon when people get done with work, they'll be lounging, relaxing at the end of the day and looking at content. Publishing in the middle of the night is not something I recommend, but I think that it's just up to you to test what works for your audience and see what works best for you. When does it work best? Are you seeing a higher level of engagement if you post in the morning versus in the afternoon? Only you're going to have that information. But it's cool to use some tools. I have not used this feature, but Canva actually has a publishing tool, so you can actually schedule and publish through Canva. I'm sure that they have insights there. There's a website called later.com that you can schedule and post content through that gives deeper insights than just Instagram does too. So you might want to consider a platform like Hootsuite or Later or using Canva Publisher, because I know that some of those platforms, they do offer you a lot more insights. And as any smart business owner knows, if you're not tracking the data, then you're shooting in the dark. So look at what's working and follow where the numbers are highest. Like I talked about before, tagging and using collaborators is just a great way to extend your reach. Sharing with people, if you make something, share it with your board members, share it with the business, share it with your friends and family. Hey, I made this video, check it out. This type of engagement does really well on Instagram as far as the algorithm is concerned. Comments is a big one as well. If people comment on your reel, comment back. Again, it's just engagement at the end of the day. And when is the next video going to drop, right? So just engaging with people and thinking about when your other content is going to drop is going to be helpful for you to know when you want to publish as well. So let's talk about the don'ts as we get to the end of this webinar all about Reels, best practices. Do not use low quality footage. If you're using really crummy footage, obviously it's just not going to land as well. Making the clips too long, like I said, I think people get bored pretty quick. And something fun about Reels is this like boom, 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 these different videos that like give people so much information so quickly. I think about, I don't know about y'all, but I follow on my personal page a lot of Reels, a lot of content creators who do recipe stuff, food stuff. food videos, and they are really good at making these clips so short. And it's like, oh my gosh, I know how to make this mango pico de gallo in like 30 seconds. If you think about those types of videos, like how someone can learn how to do something so quickly because the clips are like that perfect length, um, it can help you edit yours. I would say err on the side of shorter, not longer. Anything less than 1 second is going to be really quick. People are not going to really get information out of that. But like I said, I typically stick around 2 or 3 seconds per clip. And I feel like it really communicates the feeling and the vibe and what I'm trying to say. Don't make the video too long overall. Again, that's more YouTube and other platforms. We're talking about short form videos here. Um, as we saw, the sweet spot is really like 30 to 60 seconds. If you do have something that's longer, maybe you consider releasing it in a 3-part series. Maybe there's 3 1-minute videos that you share. I don't think it's a good idea to have the same types of shots unless that is an artistic choice that you're making. When we're talking about business districts and small businesses, I love being able to see things as if I'm walking through a shop or as if I'm walking through a district, right? I love the shots of going through the door. I love the shots of seeing food move around on a plate, or seeing a close up of products in a store, or standing and just scanning the place, right? Getting the whole vibe. Um, it's often the diversity of the shots that makes the videos interesting. And the final thing is, do not post and ghost. That's just kind of a best practice of engaging on social media. If you just post and you don't return to it and you don't respond to any questions or comments, depending on where you're at, eventually people may kind of feel like there isn't anybody on the other side of that account. And depending on the type of account, again, we're talking about small business here, business associations and business district leadership. People want to know you, and they want to know the voice and engage with you. So I think it's a really good idea to at least check back the next day or a few days later and do some replying. In conclusion, short form videos are a really fun way to promote your businesses and your business districts. I think that it's incredibly exciting to think about the modernization of business district marketing. What used to be flyers, handheld district maps, um, you know, and just relying on kind of word of mouth and people out on foot has become a virtual experience that you can give people to bring them into your district. Short form videos are a really fun way to make people feel really excited about coming to your district. And here is my contact information. In the future, if you have any questions or want to get advice or want to have a conversation about creating videos for your district, I love doing this and I love talking about it as well. So I'm happy to be a resource for you. I would love to open it up now for some questions. Does anybody have questions or comments or like want to chat?
Well, it's pretty great. You got the editing process down to just an hour. I I love editing video, but it tends to expand into any amount of time you've got. It's
Yeah,
definitely a challenge.
yeah, definitely. And again, I think, the way that I've gotten the editing to be way faster is in the capture.
Mhm. It's the
Now that I
preparation. I lived with someone who was an executive producer at Oregon Public Broadcasting. So I've had more than just a little exposure into what goes into, turning an idea into something you can actually watch on the screen. And it's all about preparation.
Yeah, it's amazing how easy it is to get stuck. And it's also amazing how easy it can be to get like story drift,
Mhm.
where like, as it goes, you're kind of like, oh God, where are we? What are we doing? Oh, okay. Does this, does this feel cohesive? And I think again, with these, keeping it to be like really short video, um, it just how it stays on topic. It doesn't drift into like, where are we or what is this business? I'm thinking about all of you. Steve, how are you involved? Stephen, how are you involved with business districts?
At the moment, I'm not, but
Okay.
I knew about this particular webinar because I applied for the district manager position that's now posted.
Cool.
I
Okay.
haven't heard anything back,
Okay. Well,
and I
thanks
was
for coming.
talking to somebody else who's on the board, and he said, "Oh yeah, did you know there's a lunch and learn going on today?" And
Cool.
I said, "Well, maybe I should tune in."
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming. That's really cool. Yeah, I know, it just depends on how people are going about it, but I think the Cool Corners, that example is awesome when we're thinking about a district, right? Because anyone can take essentially that recipe for a district, highlight a number of businesses in one video, and, um, just keep doing that throughout their district. And I hope that that's inspiring for folks in those positions.
I,
Jermaine, has it been? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, have you thought about providing other people the starting clips that you've made?
No, because those are things that I made
Ah,
for the Cool Corners thing, and um that series, is through Venture and is going to be our thing. But I think that using that idea to make something district specific could be really fun. With Jermaine, I was going to say, like with Lents, it could be like, I don't know, coming up with something with alliteration, right? Like, um, learning about Lents, and like having like the different, did you know? And like having different things about it, right? And having these like quick little videos. It's it's really fun to get playful with it, for sure. Bless, did you have a question?
I don't necessarily have a question so much as something I was thinking about adding. When you're talking about engagement with comments on my other business, one of my favorite things that I learned is, especially if you're posting regularly, when you post a new reel, that's when you go back and comment on the past reel, right? So that those two reels are now kind of connected engagement wise. And always when somebody comments, ask them a question so that then they want to comment again, so that you're continuing that engagement with them. Because that one, like Sam said, it shows that there's somebody there talking to them. And
Yeah.
then two, it gets them engaged with you, and suddenly they feel connected to the project you're working on. And especially with business districts, like that's what we want. We want people to feel like they're connected to your district and your businesses. And that's and it's an easy, fun thing to do because you're just chatting with people, right?
Yes.
That was my little bit to add to that.
Thank you so much for adding that tip. I think that's great. That's a great tip to suggest asking a question.
Yeah.
Cool. Jermaine, how's it going in Lents?
It's going well. It's going good in Lens. I'm staying. Oh, wait. Sorry. I think I broke something. Yeah. It's going great in Lens. Still working with the businesses and stuff like that. I'm excited for like the Cool Corners that we're about to work on together. So I'm definitely excited about that. So yeah, I would say Lens is doing really, really well right now. Yeah.
That's wonderful to hear. And I will be
Yeah.
in touch really soon about coming to do that
Yeah.
with you. And it would be great to do it with
Yeah.
you and to show you in person.
Yeah.
You know, and to think about like specifically, you know, Gun for Lents, which is a really up and coming district. There's been a lot of energy, effort put into that district from the city. It's
Yeah.
it's an expanding community, and
Mm.
it would be really fun to think about some creative ideas for y'all to,
Yeah.
you know, implement in Lents that could be, it's just amazing to see how something like this changes the way people feel about
Yeah.
the district, you know?
Mhm. I
Yeah,
totally agree with that. Yeah. Thank
very
you again,
cool.
Sam.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much. Is there any more questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you all for coming to another Lunch and Learn Wednesday. There's another one happening next week with Jacob. I sent out an email about it today. And we're gonna continue doing more awesome lunch and learns about all things that help you guys in your business districts and in small business. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.